What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the guy who doesn't even know what he's doing on YouTube. I'm Phantom Ninja. Today we're going to be ranking Super Mario RPG games. Over the past 25 years, we had quite a few games with some remakes and DLC in there. By the way, this tier list, I'm assuming it's made by this person. You can follow them on Twitter or X. I don't care. I'm calling it Twitter. But yeah, I'm not trying to take credit for this, so check them out. They made the tier list, I'm assuming. We're going to be ranking the many Mario RPG games throughout the years. I went ahead and added my own custom ranking. We have peak, amazing, great, mid, trash, and never played. So let's get in on this. And that reminds me, if you do like Mario RPGs, more specifically Super Mario RPG on the Nintendo Switch, I recommend checking out my Let's Play series on that. I'm just trying to get those videos somewhere, so if you like chilling and watching strangers play games, please check out those videos. Alright, and starting off, we have the original Super Mario RPG. I thought it was a pretty great game. It's just kind of okay, but in a good way, if you understand. As the first Mario RPG, it doesn't really do a whole lot. We have two new characters with Mallow and Geno, and they're fan favorites, especially Geno. Sakurai, please put Geno in the next Smash, I'm begging you. The music, that's great. I forgot who composed it, but I think it's Yoko Shimomura, but I'm not sure if she did that or if she composed the remakes. For the remake game we'll talk about in a minute, I just thought it was okay, a great game. My only complaint is I'm not a big fan of the whole graphics and this whole isometric thing they got going on. It just gets annoying at times, and I just don't think the graphics look that good. But years later, out of nowhere, to everyone's surprise, a peak game came out, and it was a remake of Super Mario RPG game. So no, I never beat the original because I kept dying on the fucking Fire Dragon boss. But the remake I have beat, and I have basically completed around 3 times now throughout the past year, ever since it came out, and it's a really good game. The game looks a lot better and easy for the eyes. The remade music is amazing. There's some post game now, which there wasn't really much before, but there's some stuff you can do once you beat the main game. The game's a bit more balanced. There's these triple moves you can pull off depending on the party you have. I just think the game's a lot more fun and more, I don't know how to explain. It's just a bit more fun to come back to and play, especially since the game's not that long compared to other games throughout the series. So I think it's a really good game. Alright, next up we have the first Paper Mario, and I think it's a great game. I do understand why people like this game. It's just, I don't even know what I'm saying, but I do like the graphics they were going for. You got these paper-like characters in this 3D world. It gives the series this identity, and I am glad they kind of, in later games, they went with a more paper idea, trying to give the series a bit more identity. But we'll talk about that later. The music, it's great. The battle system, it's great. There is a few times where I got annoyed with the game, and that was mainly later throughout the game with certain enemies, and this one part in Bowser's Castle when you're in the dark, I wasn't a fan of that. And they would take this game and make it better in the sequel, which I did not play. Yeah, I don't own a GameCube, but I did buy the remake, and oh my god, this game is amazing. So I knew the moment the RPG remake was announced, we were eventually getting a Paper Mario TTYD remake, and dead ass in the next direct, I was crying because they finally announced they were remaking the game, and I finally had a chance to play the Thousand Year Door, and understand why people like the game, and I understand it now. Like, it's really fun. The characters are interesting. The partners, they're fun to use. The badges, you can stack badges now, and it makes the game more customizable. And there's some quality life improvements, which makes the game kind of better than the original. Oh, and there's a remade soundtrack. They also finally figure out what to do with the white outlines for the paper characters. Like, you can barely see it now, but it does give off that feeling they were cut out of real paper, and that's a nice detail. And this game looks amazing. I don't think it looks as good as Origami King, which we'll get to later, but it's just an amazing looking game. Alright, next up we have Superstar Saga, the first Mario and Luigi game, where you get to play as Mario and Luigi throughout the whole game. It's a fun game as well. You play as Mario and Luigi, you can pull off bros attacks, you can also do some cool bro moves in the overall. There's some quirky characters you're gonna meet. The story is just kind of goofy. There's this witch and her minion, Cackletta and Fawful. They're stealing Princess Peach's voice. You go to this Bean Kingdom place, and all the areas in the game have some type of laugh pun. Like, there's Teehee Valley and Joke's End, kind of giving the game some identity. It's just a fun, quirky game. I never played the remake though, so that's going here. Partners in Time. I'm not gonna lie, I did not have fun playing this game. And there is like a reason why. In Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, you get to play as Mario, Luigi, and their baby counterparts, taking up the A button, B button, X button, and Y button. And in concept, it seems cool, but for my liking, I don't really like it. It makes the game a bit more complicated to play. The battles, I was mostly just fleeing them now, because I did not enjoy the 4-button combat compared to the usual 2-button combat. Like, the story, I actually thought that was kind of interesting. Like, it's kind of dark. You got these purple mushroom aliens called shrooms invading the Mushroom Kingdom. They're doing some creepy stuff. Like, there's this one part where you just see a toad kind of die. Overall, I'm just not a big fan of the game because of the combat. I also don't like what they did with the bros attacks. Like, the bros attacks are actually items now that you have to buy from a shop, and I just find myself running out of bros attacks often. Next up we have Super Paper Mario, which is another great game, but I'm not gonna lie, I do think Paper Mario should stick to actual RPGs and not really platformer stuff. Like, there are some RPG elements, like you do level up and stuff like that. There's even partners. You get to play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Bowser, and you even got these pixel characters, and only half of them are kind of useful. Like, 2 of them just do similar stuff, but one's a hammer and one just lets you ground pound. Like, why not just combine them into one pixel? I don't know, the game's kind of weird, but it does have an interesting story with the main villain and your partner, Tippy. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it is kind of interesting, and the final boss is kind of good, especially the music. That's something I can say about all these games here. They have really good music. Next up we have Bowser's Inside Story. That is peak right there. So the story is Bowser eats a weird mushroom, and everyone in Peach's castle gets inhaled inside Bowser, so that's why it's called Bowser's Inside Story. You get to play as Bowser, and then you play as Mario and Luigi inside Bowser. You get to do some cool stuff in there. You would think a game like this would be gross, but no, it's actually kind of fun. I never played the remake though, so yeah, I just didn't play the remake of the Mario and Luigi games, mainly because I already owned the original games. Okay, Sticker Star, that is trash. No offense for people that do like the game, but I think me and a lot of people can agree that Sticker Star it's not good at all. Like, any good things from the first three Paper Mario games are now gone. Like, there are no partners besides Kirsty, who honestly isn't that interesting of a character. She comes across more of a bratty character, which they could do something interesting like with that, but no, she's just kind of bratty and annoying the whole time. There's generic levels, and I think the biggest middle finger of all is the combat, which when you're in battle, like, the stickers, you use those to attack, but you can run out of stickers. You can't really select which enemy you want to attack, and you don't even get any experience for battling, so it kind of defeats the purpose. And a lot of the bosses, like, you need specific stickers to beat them, and if you don't have them, well, sucks to suck, you can't beat it. So it is not good, but a certain sequel will come out which kind of fixes things, only just kind of. Mario and Luigi Dream Team, it's another mixed game, but I actually really like it. It's my first Mario and Luigi game. The story is Mario and Luigi and their friends, they come to Pillow Island and they meet a dude named Prince Dreambird, and he's trying to save his like kingdom and villagers from this other villain named Phantasma, who teams up with Bowser. The music, like I said, like I've been saying, it's amazing. The story, it's kind of whatever. It's just a reason to get to point A to point B, but it's really fun. It's similar to Bowser's Inside Story, but kind of weaker with the whole dream world. You'll think the idea of going into dreams will kind of be fun, like, oh boy, what's going to happen in this dream? But no, it just kind of doesn't really do much other than the fact that you can affect Luigi in the real world and that affects his dreams, so that's kind of interesting. Wow, I forgot this was the thing. I actually own this game, Puzzle Dragon X Super Mario Bros. Kind of whatever. Like, I like the idea of being able to recruit Mario enemies for a team. Like, I kind of wish that was an official game. And hey, I'm pretty sure Alpha Rad did make a Pokemon Mario game, so hopefully I get to try that out eventually. But that's the only thing I can say about this game. I never beat it because I'm stuck on like World 3 or whatever. So we got 3 crossovers here. Alright, next up, it's another crossover, which is actually kind of fucking sad. We got a crossover between Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario. Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. Oh, wow. It's actually kind of sad because I kind of like this game, but it's still a letdown. So this is the area where Paper Mario was losing its identity. So the story is Mario and Luigi, like, a book opens and out comes all the Paper Mario characters, including Paper Mario. And when I say Paper Mario characters, I mean like Paper Bowser, Paper Peach, and a bunch of Paper Toads. No interesting characters from Paper Mario like are in the game, which is fine. Like, they can still make an interesting story, but they don't. Like, for the most part, it's just rescuing Princess Peach and Paper Peach, and then once you get them back, like, Bowser's castle starts flying or something for some reason. I don't even know. Like, it just comes across as a letdown that they didn't really do anything interesting other than the fact, like, oh hey, Paper Mario's here. With that being said, like, I lost my copy of Paper Mario, not Paper Mario, but Paper Jam, and I still think the battle system was probably the best it's ever been. Like, my complaint with Partners in Time is, like, the 4 buttons, it was a bit too much, but in Paper Jam, it's just 3 buttons, and Paper Mario now has the ability to flutter for some reason, and he even has the ability to stack up into copies. And what that basically does is it kind of balances the fact that there's more players to control. And because of that, I do kind of like Paper Jam. Like the bros attacks, they're fun. Like Paper Mario, he can do these trio moves, which are a bit longer, but the damage it does is pretty good. Next up, we have Paper Mario Color Splash. And I actually kind of like this game, even though it's a sequel to Sticker Star. Now, similar to Sticker Star, like Color Splash lacks any partners, like no original characters, and the plot is Bowser gets corrupted by black paint, so he goes around stealing color from Prisma Island. With that being said, this is probably the funniest game here, and I guess to make up for the lack of interesting stuff going on, the writers made the game as funny as possible. Like there are so many funny moments and dialogue in the game that just had me go like, So it's called Color Splash because Paper Mario and his new pal Huey, which is actually my favorite partner in the Paper Mario series, they have to go around painting the different levels to restore Prisma Island. Alright, next up, the last crossover, kinda on this list. We still got like one more crossover on this list I have to rank. The most bizarre one is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and it's so crazy this game even exists. Like no one expected it, and even when it got announced, people were clowning on it, but when it came out, the game was actually really good. So the idea, this plot is that the Rabbids come to Mario's world, and there are like Rabbid Mario characters now because a Rabbid wearing a VR headset is going around merging stuff together. So the Mario and the Rabbids team up to go after this rabbit before a mega bug comes out and I guess kills everyone. So it's a simple story, but I guess for a game like this, it really doesn't need a bizarre story other than the fact like, hey, these characters are here working together. And they also gave Mario a gun, and not just Mario, they gave a Yoshi a gun, and that still makes me crack up to this day. The battles, it's actually kind of fun. Like, I'm not much of a tactical person, but I do think the game's fun. I'm not gonna say it's for everyone though, because you may not like it. Like, I'm not even a big fan of the genre, but I do think it's a decent game. Also, the music, it was composed by Grant Kirkhope, and I'm pretty sure he's the same dude that did the Donkey Kong music from back in the day, so the music in this game is actually really good. Next up, the Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure. I never played this one, but all you need to know is Rabbid Peach and your partner Beepo end up in an island where you team up with Donkey Kong and Rabbid Cranky Kong. I never played the DLC, maybe one day, but that's all I know about the game. Alright, next up, another game that's very controversial, Paper Mario Origami, the Origami King. I actually really like this game, even though I know it could be a lot better. Like, it still suffers from flaws that Sticker Star has, but you can tell the developers were trying so hard to make this similar to like TTYD or the first Paper Mario. The story is, it's actually kind of dark. It starts off as like this creepy horror game, kinda, and you meet Olivia, and then you learn that King Ollie is turning all the paper people into like origami, and then he's racist against toads. And I guess that's supposed to be an analogy because everyone is complaining about how there's so many paper toads now. And I just thought that was a funny way of referencing that, having the main villain just straight up hate the toads. And also the year this game came out, like it was 2020, everyone was stuck in their homes, so to have a Paper Mario game made me happy because now I had a good reason to stay home. Just staying home, drinking hot cocoa, and playing Paper Mario Origami King. So one of the more divisive things in this game is the battle system. There are no more cards or stickers. Instead, there's this ring thing where every battle is like a puzzle. You gotta line up the enemies, and when you do that, you get a good opportunity to take them out in the first turn. And it's fine. Like, I kind of like the idea how people are trying to come up with more ideas to make RPGs more unique with the battle systems, but I think it was too early. They were doing that too early with Paper Mario. So I'm not gonna act like changing up the battle system is a bad idea, but they were doing it way too early and making it way too gimmicky. With that being said, the bosses are probably some of the best bosses in the series. Like, people complaining, oh, they're just office supplies. Yeah, so what? Like, would you rather it be the Koopalings? Because the Legion of Stationary and Developmentals, their boss fights are actually some of the best bosses in this series. And the music they have are, once again, amazing. My favorite one definitely has to be the tape boss. Like, you gotta take out the tape dispenser first, and then after that, you gotta fight the tape itself by using the arms thing going on, and you have to take out each of the tapes. I thought that was a fun boss fight. So another game in the Mario and Rabbids series came out, which is a sequel, Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope. Sparks of Hope. I don't think a lot of people give this game credit for what it is. Like, not only did we get a sequel to Mario plus Rabbids, but it's a sequel that does a lot of things that made the old RPGs good. Like, you have a party of interesting characters. Like, shout outs to the rabbits now having voices other than similar rabbit voices. Like, each of the rabbits now have like unique voices that fits their characters. Like Rabbit Luigi, he is my favorite. Like, he he is actually funny with the stuff he randomly says. In the battle system, like, instead of the grid-based combat from before, it's actually more open. Like, a major complaint I had with Kingdom Battle is how limited everything felt. Like, you couldn't do much in the overworld, and you always had to have Mario on your team. Now that's changed. Like, you can have anyone on your team now, and there's actually more things to do when you're not battling. And on top of that, you can now play as Bowser, Rabbit, Rosalina, and a new character, Edge. So that is amazing. I'm a big fan of this game. Like, more people need to give this game credit, because this was the best RPG we had in the longest time. Because this was an era where Mario and Luigi was considered dead, and Paper Mario was considered not dead, but born, because of what Nintendo was choosing to do with it. Of course, after this game came out, Mario RPG, the remake, was announced, and same thing for TTYD. Now, I'm not gonna act like this game is completely perfect, because this game was made by Ubisoft, which is a controversial company, and I can't really blame people for not liking that company and the choices that company does. So, Sparks of Hope came out with 3 DLC waves, which I'll quickly rank. First up is Tower of Doom. It's a roguelike. It's a okay game mode, I guess, but it doesn't really do much story-wise or even gameplay-wise. Next up is a really good DLC with the Last Spark Hunter. I'm a big fan of the atmosphere and the music theme going on. And Kanya, she's an interesting character. I kind of like what they had going on with her, even though she didn't really do much. And last thing is the Rayman DLC. They finally brought back Rayman. It's a bit disappointing that we didn't really get to see him interact with any Mario characters, but okay, I guess I'll take Rayman fighting a Goomba. So it's cool to have Rayman here on top of Phantom, which was a character from the first Rabbids game, so that's cool. Alright, lastly, we have Mario and Luigi Brothership, which is the latest game in this Mario RPG series, and it's another controversial game. The main complaint being that the game takes forever to complete, and I do have to agree. For like the first hours, you're not really doing much combat wise. Like, you're doing the same jumps and hammers. You don't really get your first bros attacks till like I want to say like 5 hours in. And yeah, that's a main complaint I have. Like, the game takes forever to complete. It's padded to the brim with content. There's side quests you can do now, and that's fun, but you can only do them only temporary. And because of that, it kind of adds pressure. Like, oh, if I don't do this side quest, I might not be able to do it later. So I have to do it now, which pads out the game. A game that doesn't really need to be padded out. With that being said, the combat is amazing. The locations you visit are amazing. The story, it's probably my favorite story out of all these games here, because it has a theme that it sticks to, with the theme being connection and connecting to people, and I gotta appreciate the game with that. The music, it's not my favorite, but the battle system music, that is my favorite in the game, so I'll give it that. So, God, my voice hurts. This is my list, and what do you guys think? How would y'all rank the games? Alright, hope you guys enjoy. If you're having a bad day, I hope it gets better. Alright, see ya. Bye.